No, the chair is just squeaky. Like this is always the same shit. Okay, let's see.
So I'm guessing those who see the video already know who you are.
I think so, because
Yeah.
chances are pretty. Well, then again, this is album promotion, and there might be people who don't know who I am.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to properly introduce myself as, you know?
You can edit it afterwards.
Like, be a good person and introduce yourself to the audience at home.
You're recording, I guess?
Yeah, it's already going. Well, hello, my name is Tom Witt, and I am the main person behind TDW and Dreamwalkers Inc. And I make weird music that is beyond most people's logic, and my own, might I add.
So what can you tell us about your new album?
The new album is called the Antithetic Affiliation, and it's an album that deals with patternizations in our emotional state of being in society, in the way the world is perceived from the individual's perspective. All good things repeat themselves, but all bad things repeat themselves as well, making an infinity symbol that keeps going as such, which brings in the balance of life. And that is, in a way, that is not how I set out to make the album, but that's what the album turned into. You go through a certain set of motions, and there's a reason why there's a thing called deja vu. There's a reason why you can still have a new experience and still feel familiar with it, because you've already been through a certain thing. Good things end. That's what it can say, but it can also say bad things end as well. You know, like, okay, this is shit, you feel horrible, but it's going to end. There will be a good point as well, once again, because that's how the infinity symbol works.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this right, you're saying the album doesn't have a beginning and doesn't have an end. So what did you choose as a beginning?
Well, this is the very good question. I don't really believe the album in the like you start wherever you want to start, in a way, like how life works, because it's a double album. You know, there's two discs. There's a dark and a light disc, and I deliberately did not call them disc 1 or disc 2, because the songs on the album actually all interconnect as well. So when you start with the light disc and end with the dark disc, that makes sense, but you can also do it the other way around. And therefore, I can't really answer that question. I can't say, oh, this is song number 1. Not really. But they could start at track 3, for instance, and then just work their way throughout the album, and it will still make sense. So it's not, in that sense, it's not conceptual. It's like theme. You know, there's a theme I want to work with, but it's not like with conceptual records. It's like this person goes through these motions, and now we have a wonderful conclusion, and that's what we're up for. And that's not what this is.
You must have a track listing though, even if
well,
have it all.
Let's do the positive version, start with the light side, and then the track listing is The More We Remember. That's the first epic, the first 20-minute epic. Then you have Anthem, which is the single that we released last year, but in a newer version. Then we have Love Song, and then we have Monolith, The Ascent. And that's the first disc, so to speak. And people are like, there's 4 songs on one disc. So like, yeah, the first one's already 20 minutes, and Monolith's around 7, 8, you know, so... And then the dark disc starts with Monolith, the Descent. So that's the counterpart to Monolith, the Ascent, obviously. And then we head into You Don't Say. And then we head into Aphrodisia, which is a song that most people have already heard by now as well. And then you get Dirge, and then you get Lest We Forget, which is the other epic.
Can you tell us what you did and what you didn't do on this album?
I wrote all the basic material. Like I wrote, as always, I just start writing and then it just evolves. Like for some reason, music with me is really always an organic process. It's a bit like I write this 10-20 second idea for a song and then I just start elaborating on it, and when I'm in the writing...
So it only has 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's literally how it goes. Lest We Forget, for instance. That's the first song I wrote for this album, like chronologically speaking. And that literally started with 20 minutes of really angry music. Like I had to get rid of something. I was like, I'm in a fuck off mood. I was in a bad place in my life at that point. And actually, Leonard, my good friend Leonard, guitar player for the band as well, he was like, you should do something with this. Like, I can see you're frustrated, I can see you feel bad about this, write about it. Throw it out there, just go, rah, and let it go. And that's what I did. I want to get rid of something, there's something I want to say, and I throw that out there, and that's it. That's the way I tend to work musically, in general. Yeah.
So you write to get the bad out?
Oh, yeah.
And what about when you write about good stuff?
I think when I write about good stuff, like Love Song, for instance, it's a very positive song. But actually, when I write good stuff, it mostly ends bad. I guess that's me being a cynical asshole. I don't know. But when I write a happy song, it always has to have some sort of a darker ending conclusion. And on this album, Love Song is a prime example of that. Like, it starts out as, yay, love is awesome, yay! And then at the end I compare it to, it's the only drug that we tolerate. Because, being in love is a drug. It's endorphins, it's all the crazy shit it does to your body. And it can also end. Love is not an infinite thing. Love, I see so many people being in relationships and being in love, and I'm like, I just hope for you guys that it's gonna last as long as it will. Because I've also seen a lot of people get divorced and get their hearts broken and all that stuff.
The infinity symbol of it.
Once again, yes. So another infinity symbol. There you go. It's in that sense that is what why it was relevant for me to write a happy song but have a dark ending.
And are there any happy songs which don't have a dark ending on this album?
I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. Well, it's even with Anthem, everyone's like, "Oh, Anthem is such an uplifting song." Like, it is an uplifting song. It is actually, Anthem was self-therapy. Like, being able to say, you're not alone. There's always people who feel what you're feeling. There will always be people who understand your struggle. But at the same time, there's also even within that togetherness, there's some sort of existential loneliness. Because there's also a big part of, I have to solve it myself. That's one of the harshest truths that you have to learn in life, is like, someone can understand your struggle, but they can't solve it for you. You gotta solve your own shit. And that is the undercurrent in Anthem in a way. So and that is something that I've been confronted with in my life quite a bit as well. So yeah, that is a thing.